Hello, happy Friday. Welcome. Whatever. What is this? Functional fitness. There we go. I'm like, I forget. I'm like, is this sport performance or is this functional fitness? So today, we don't need any equipment for our workout. We're gonna do 3 rounds, 45 seconds work, 15 seconds of rest slash transition time. Goodness, it's Friday. I can't talk. So I'm gonna go ahead real quick with demos. So we're gonna start off first with a little bit of upper body. We're gonna do some bent over IYTs, working on our shoulder strength and posture. So we're gonna have our feet hip width apart, our core is engaged. We're gonna push our hips back. Arms are gonna start out in front. We're gonna come up overhead like an I, and then a Y, thumbs up, and then a T, thumbs down, and then elbow slightly bent. So from this angle, it'll be I and then Y and T. So that's our first movement. And then after that, what we're going to do is some overhead squats. So for this one, you can always grab a band, a resistance band if you want to put that around your knees, or hold a weight above your head, whatever you want to do to make it a little bit more challenging. We're going to have our feet hip width apart. We're going to hold our arms overhead. We're going to come down into our squat, drive through the heel, big toe, little toe, standing back up. So that's going to be our second movement. And then we're going to go ahead and get on the ground, and we're going to do some plank arm raises. So for this, it can either be hands and knees or hands and toes. We're going to screw our hands into the ground and then get into that plank position, raising one arm overhead, trying to make sure that our hips, our headlights on our hips, line the ground the whole time. So that's going to be our third movement. And then we're going to go ahead and get on our backs on the ground. So we'll flip over. We're going to do some glute bridge marches, working on our core and our glute strength. So we're going to keep that core engaged, push the hips up towards the ceiling, and then drive one heel into the ground as we exhale and drive the other knee up. That's going to be our fourth movement. And then finally, we're going to do some 90-90 heel taps. So what that is going to be super similar to a dead bug starting position. But instead of coming down like a dead bug, we're just going to keep that knee bent. We're going to tap the heel, exhale, and bring the knee back up. So lots of core work at the end here, working on our pillar strength there. So like I said, that's going to be our whole circuit. We're going to go through that 3 times. So we're going to go ahead real quick with a warm up, and then we will get right into it. So we're going to start off here on our hands and knees for our warm up. And we're going to do some quadruped rocks here, but we're going to add our nice adductor stretching here. So we're going to take one foot, stick it out to the side like a kickstand, keep that pinky toe on the ground. Our core is engaged. We're going to inhale, rock back. Exhale, rocking back forward. So we're going to do about 5 of these on each side. So we're going to inhale, rock back, really breathe into the belly. Exhale, come forward. Inhaling, rocking back. Exhale, forward. And 2 more, rocking back. You can always stay at the bottom a little bit longer if you need to, depending on how tight your hips feel today. And last one here, rocking back and forward. All right. After that last one, we can go ahead and bring our knee back up underneath our hip. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So other leg straight out to the side, pinky toe on the ground. We're going to inhale, rock back. Exhale, forward. Inhale, rock back. Exhale, come forward. Rocking back. Again, you can stay at the bottom for however long you need to. I'm going to do one more here. I lost count, so maybe we were supposed to do 2 more. I don't know. And after that last one, we can go ahead and bring our knee back up underneath our shoulder. And then from here, oh, so much, knee back up underneath our hip. From here, we're going to warm up our shoulders. There we go. And we're going to tuck our toes. We're going to push ourselves up into a little bit of down dog here. So we're going to do a little bit of plank to pike. We can always pedal our heels, open up our calves and our hamstrings here. Then we'll come back into our plank. So we're going to do a few planks to pike, so you can kind of go at your own pace. You can hang out at the top for as long or as little as you need. We're warming our core up, getting our shoulders nice and warmed up. And let's go ahead and make this next one our last one. And then from here, we can always walk our hands towards our feet. And then hang out there for a second if you need to. Let your spine decompress. Then we'll go ahead and return to standing. We're ready to rock and roll. So, like I said, we're going to do 45, 15 today, 3 rounds of this, and then we'll cool down and do our breathing. So, get the timer going here. We're starting off with our bent over IYTs. 3, 2, 1, and go. I think my words are not driving today, but that's okay. All right. So, our checklist here: feet hip width apart, core is engaged, push our hips back. Coming up into an I, making sure that our shoulders are not coming towards the ears. So if you want to squeeze your armpits and squeeze the orange in between your shoulder blades. Thumbs are up for the I and the Y, and thumbs down, pinkies up for the T. Also having a slight bend in the elbows, driving back. So we really feel that in our upper back. So these are great, like I said, shoulder health and to help with posture. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have overhead squats. So again, for this one, you can always hold a weight, whatever you want to do overhead, or you can grab like a mini band, place it around your knees, whatever feels good. 3, 2, 1. So again, feet hip width apart, hands all the way overhead, coming down as low as we can while keeping our form the same. So this one with the overhead squat, it's really easy to start to bend forward at the hips more than we should be. So going down as low as we can, keeping that chest open, keeping our core engaged, going nice and slow, making sure we're doing the best to keep our form on point here. Keeping, again, our orange squeezed right in between our shoulder blades. 3, 2, 1. All right, shake the arms out. Those always make my arms a little tired. All right, we're on the ground next. We have plank arm raises. So either hands and knees or hands and toes, whatever feels good for you today. 3, 2, 1. So we're screwing our hands into the ground. That's going to help us activate our upper back. And then I'm going to start off doing it on my knees for the first round. I could feel in the demos my hips were rocking back and forth. So sometimes I like to just kind of knock the movement down a little bit, come to my knees, make sure that I'm using my core. My core is engaged. We're still getting our single arm stability here through the shoulders. Great job. Trying to, again, keep our shoulders away from our ears. Squeezing that orange. It does help if we exhale as we raise our arm as well. 3, 2, 1. All right. On to our backs. We have glute bridge marches, and then we're going to do our 90-90 heel taps. And then we're going to do that 2 more times. 3, 2, 1. I hope I'm all in frame here. All right. So core, pelvis is tucked, core is engaged. Breathe through our straw. Exhaling as we drive the opposite knee up. Again, always helps us to engage our core that way. Pulling the knee in, or you can imagine that as you exhale and your core is coming together, you're zipping your core up and you have a string attached to that zipper on your knee. And that's how our knees are driving up. So trying to not focus on using our hips, focus on using the core. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to do our heel taps. And then we're going to do all of that again. And we're getting into our position. We're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So knees directly above the hips. They're not too far in and they're not too far out. So right above. Getting that Goldilocks position here. And then again, exhaling, bringing the knee up. So same thing, if we need to get our zipper, imagine the zipper with a string at the end, attached to our knee. Breathing through our straw. Making sure our low back is not coming off the ground as we come down. This is kind of like a precursor a little bit to dead bugs. So sometimes if we're feeling like our low back is taking the brunt during dead bugs, This is a great way to kind of train the core a little bit. 3, 2, 1. All right, awesome job. One round down, one to go. We're getting back up. We have our bent over IYTs first. So we're getting our checklist going. Tuck that pelvis. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to face this way actually real quick. So push the hips back. Our chest does not have to be fully parallel with the ground. I mean, it is very similar to our Romanian deadlift position at the bottom. Squeezing. I like to imagine that I'm lifting, I squeeze my shoulders and then I lift my arms out. And that way I'm really using my shoulders. Again, going nice and slow. That's going to help us really engage our shoulders, working on, again, shoulder health and our posture. You can always grab weights for these. I really recommend staying as light as we can, like 2 to 5 pounds max. I would really not even do 5 pounds over my head personally. 3, 2, 1. But it's a great way to, again, mix it up, add a little bit of a challenge there for you. So, all right, we have overhead squats. Again, same thing. You can always hold a weight above your head. Challenge yourself. 3, 2, 1. So our feet are hip width apart, arms overhead, squeezing our shoulder blades here, and then coming down and back up. So again, making sure we're staying as upright as we can, making sure too that as we start to feel our form is not, holding steady, we're stopping the movement there. So I know I'm really cannot go as low as a regular squat when I'm doing them overhead like this. And that's because I tend, again, to kind of come a little bit too far forward with my chest. So we don't want to be here. We want to be nice and tall. Exhaling as we come up also helps. 3, 2, 1. All right. Don't even need weight. My shoulders are already on fire. All right. On the ground next. Plank arm raises. Either hands and knees or hands and toes. Screw our hands into the ground. 3, 2, 1. So again, keeping our butt to belly button, pelvis is tucked, our back is nice and flat. We're on one straight line from our head to our shoulders, to our hips and our toes or knees. Exhaling as we come up, drive the hand into the ground, and then raising using our shoulders here. Back is still engaged to make sure we're not shrugging. I'm definitely, my headlights are not blinding the ground very well today, and that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Every day is not going to be a perfect day when it comes to form, so it's about listening to your body. We're flipping over for glute bridge marches. We're getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. I feel like that's usually my Friday message, is to listen to your bodies, because it's been, it's a long week. I guess it was a short week this week. Felt like a long week. But really listen to your body and what it needs. It's really easy to get into our routine and keep pushing, even if we're tired or we're sore or we're injured. And it's really easy to just kind of keep going through that. So here's your sign, your suggestion. Listen to your body, take a rest if you need it. Or, like me, where I'm like, oh, my hips are really rotating in my plank armlet raises. I'm just gonna drop it down. Not a problem. 3, 2, 1. I'd rather do the movement well, even if I'm doing it not how I normally do them. So, all right, we have 90-90 heel taps. And we're gonna go through that one more time. 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, bringing the knees back up. Definitely got to get my core work going again. The most core work I do during the week is when I'm in class like this. And I can tell when my core is getting a little bit tired in the first 2 rounds. That's my sign to do more core work. But I can also tell when I start to feel my back hurting or have some back tension as well. So doing core movements like this, dead bugs, marches, really great for our posture and our low back health. That's why I like doing those. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job. 2 down, 1 to go. Getting back up. We got IYTs. I feel like this workout is flying by. We have IYTs first. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. So squeezing I always say squeeze the armpit. So if you act like you have a piece of paper in between your arm and your body, keep that paper squeezed so that our upper back is nice and flat. And then keeping our hands slightly behind the shoulders. We're not all the way out here in line, slightly under. That's going to give us the angle to get the most out of the movement. Intent is the name of the game. We are intending to work our shoulders and our posture with this movement. So really making sure that we're lifting our arms up with our shoulders. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those for today. Up next, overhead squats. Last one of these, getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Overhead again, keeping our form as good as we can with our arms above our heads. Exhaling as we drive our heels through the ground. Rotated here a little bit. Again, the intent of this movement, right? We are working on our shoulders a little bit. We will feel it in the shoulders. We're also working on our legs and our core and our form as well. So we are going to feel it kind of everywhere with this one, which is why I put that in here. It's total body movement without doing a squat to press. 3, 2, 1. All right, done with those. We're on the ground for the rest of today's workout. So we have plank, arm raises first, and then we're on our backs. 3, 2, 1. So we'll do these, and then we're going to do our marches, and then our heel taps, and then we're going to do our cool down, which we're definitely going to do some bretzel, get some rotation in, and the end of our workout. I know I haven't rotated yet today, so I'm sure we can all use a little bit of rotation here today. Also open up our back and our hips and our glutes and our chest, because we did all of that work today as well. And then we'll do some breathing, calm our bodies and our minds down. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got 2 more movements, starting with our glute bridge marches. I'm doing those first. Getting on the ground. Oh, my shoulders are tired. 3, 2, 1. So again, tuck the pelvis, push those hips up, drive one heel into the ground, drive the other knee up. This is great for our pillar strength, shoulders, hips, and torso. We're working on our low back muscles as well as our core muscles, abdominal muscles here. Exhaling as we come up, pulling the knee up with our core. And this one is great. One of my favorite movements just to help overall with strength. And if you have any low back tightness or tension, this is a great way to kind of build up that strength. 3, 2, 1. All right, last movement of today's circuit, our heel taps. And we are getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Tapping and exhaling. That's like actually a nice shoulder stretch. I think if we had actually a really good shoulder stretch, I know this is like kind of off top a little bit, but might as well talk about it. If you have a foam roller and you land your foam roller with your arms out to the side, it's a great way to open up your chest. If you have any chest tightness from sitting at the computer during the day, great way to open up either midday, before work, after work, whenever, wherever. Great stretch there. But we are working on our core right now. So focusing on using the core, pulling the knees up there versus the hips. 3, 2, 1. And we are done with that circuit. Nice job. Go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. And like I said, we're going to do bretzel to cool down. So I'm actually going to go ahead and move my camera down a little bit because we're going to be doing our floor work for the rest of our time here today. So on the ground on our side, you can start with whichever side you'd like. If you need to grab a pillow or something to place under your head, feel free. We're going to take our top leg up, over, and across, knee and ankle on the ground, bottom hand on top of our knee. Top hand is going to grab onto our bottom foot or ankle. Got to make sure I'm not going to hit anything here. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, opening up our top shoulder towards the ground. I know I love to do this stretch a lot, and that's because it feels amazing, but it does also really open everything up. So this is where we're going to start to slow our breath down. We're breathing in through our nose, into our bellies, and exhaling through our mouth, sighing away our tension. Let our body sink further into the ground with each exhale. And one more breath. And as we finish our last exhale, when we're ready, gently release our leg, return back to your side, and then feel free to roll over onto your other side. We're going to do the same thing here. So same checklist. Top leg is going to come up, over, and across. Back is going to crack on this side. Oh, I didn't do it today. Darn. Bottom hand on top of our knee. Top hand grabs onto bottom for our ankle. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, bringing our top shoulder towards the ground. The same thing, really let our body fully relax. Sink further into the ground with each exhale. And one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently release our bottom leg. And at this time, we'll go ahead and roll over onto our back. And we're going to get ready for our breathing here. So as always, right hand over our belly, left hand over our heart. We want our bottom hands, we want the right hand to rise because we're breathing into our belly, into our diaphragm here. So really work on that deep belly breath. That's what's going to help us really relax and calm our bodies down and get some good deep breaths going. So our cadence today, we are going to do my favorite. We're going to do 6, 4, 10. So the 10 exhale sounds really daunting, but when we really breathe into our belly here, that's going to fill up our lungs to have more like air to exhale here. So we're going to do a few of those here. So I'll count it out. We got 1. Oh, sorry. Let me start over. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So try and do that cadence a few times on your own. I know again that the exhaling for 10 is very daunting, but the more you practice it, the easier it will be. I remember my first time exhaling for 10 seconds, I was like out of breath. But now it's like that's, a lot easier for my body as we're breathing correctly into the diaphragm. So I'll be quiet here for a little bit as we go through a few of those rounds. And after the next exhale, when we finish our 10, let's go ahead and just do one more round of that. And after we've finished that last round, then gently wake the body up, wiggle our fingers and toes, move our head side to side. And feel free, if you'd like, feel free to stay laying on the ground, or you can gently make your way into a seated, kneeling, or standing position. But that is going to be all the time for today's class. So thank you so much for joining me. And I